James Robinson should absolutely be considered one of the frontrunners for the 2022 Comeback Player of the Year award. You're talking about a guy, James Robinson, who was one of the National Football League's best running backs in his rookie year. You know, when the news broke that Leonard Fournette had been cut from the Jaguars early 2020, there was a lot of questions about what this Jaguars running back room would look like. Would it be a running back by committee? Would Chris Thompson really be the lead back throughout it? Well, all of those answers would be found very, very quickly. Week 1 against the Indianapolis Colts, James Robinson burst onto the scene, had an incredible game, and what would be the Jaguars' only win on the season. Throughout that rookie season for James Robinson, he would go on to rush for 4.5 yards per carry, have over 1,000 yards and 7 scores behind what was a bottom third offensive line for the Jacksonville Jaguars per PFF in 2020. And then in 2021, we really were excited. You know, oh hey, we got Trevor Lawrence. Oh hey, we got some good pieces on this offense now. We can really start to get cooking. Well, James Robinson's usage would drop off a cliff in 2021. He would go from seeing 20 touches per game in 2020 to seeing a criminally low 13 touches per game, despite having a higher yards per carry average in 2021. But, all of that leads us to Week 16 in the Meadowlands, playing the New York Jets.
With some of the injuries that they have, oh boy, now it's James Robinson, the injured Jag. Austin with a 5-yard run, but now the obvious concern.
Watch James Robinson here just start out.
Boy.
That is not good. He tried to explode and went down immediately.
When he went down in Week 16 with what would be an Achilles tear, his season really did look like it was just done for. Leading into 2022, you're looking at a guy got hurt late December. What would his impact be earlier on for this Jaguars team? It seems like all summer long the story was, oh, okay, well, he's not going to be back until November. ETN's going to get the bulk of the work. Don't even think about drafting James Robinson. James Robinson, don't even think about him because he's not going to have an impact on this Jaguars offense for a very long time. And then, as OTAs began, rumors started to come out. James Robinson's ahead of schedule. James Robinson is having a very good recovery this summer. And then, those rumors kind of turned into, okay, well, now James Robinson may, be slowly worked back. He's not going to get a bunch of touches. He's not going to be, the number one back in Jacksonville. And then we're into training camp. It's okay. Well, maybe they'll split touches. Videos started to come out of James Robinson running, of James Robinson cutting, full sprinting during training camp, things like that. And then that kind of turned into, okay, well, let's see what James Robinson looks like. And he showed us in Week 1 against the Commanders. He scored 2 touchdowns, 1 receiving, 1 rushing, on his way to having 4 to this point. Through these 3 games that James Robinson has played, he has had 51 rushing attempts. Yes, it's 7th highest in the National Football League. And on those 51 attempts, he's had 12 first downs, a long of 50 yards. He's averaged for 4.5 yards a carry. And he's also had 3 scoring touchdowns on the ground. And that is tied for the lead in the overall touchdowns scored by a back with 4, as he has the 1 receiving as well. James Robinson has been fired out of a cannon to start the 2022 season, and he's being criminally undervalued as he sits on FanDuel Sportsbook for Comeback Player of the Year with plus $1,600 odds. You're looking at that. If you bet $100, you will get $1,600 back. That is an incredible odds if you're a betting man and you're interested in making that play. Now, the last running back to win the Comeback Player of the Year award, because it kind of has become a quarterback award. You see Joe Burrow winning it. You see a lot of other quarterbacks winning this award throughout history recently. But the last running back to win this award was a man named Garrison Hurst. Garrison Hurst was sidelined for 2 years with, I'm going to make sure I say this correctly, avascular necrosis. I did a quick Google search. I'm not a doctor. I'm a guy with a YouTube channel here, right? Avascular necrosis is the death of bone tissue due to lack of blood supply. It's also called osteonecrosis, which can lead to tiny breaks in the bone and cause the bones to collapse. It could be a process that usually takes months to years to develop. Well, this had Hurst sidelined not only all of the 99 season, but all of the 2000 season. And he absolutely came roaring back. He had a 1,200-yard season with 4 scores. And like I talked about, yes, it has become kind of a quarterback award. But you look at the quarterbacks in the National Football League this year, they're not a bunch coming back that had elite seasons prior to really build off of to say, I'm a comeback player. It's not an Alex Smith level injury. It's not a Joe Burrow level injury. There's no quarterbacks like that. The only quarterback that really could have a stake to be comeback player of the year is Jameis Winston.
That's a W. That's E1. That's E1. That's a W. How many people want to eat a W tonight?
And Is Jameis Winston going to light up the world? The Saints haven't been lighting up the world yet, but there are some backs that have. There are 4 backs right now that are absolutely in contention for comeback player of the year. You're looking at Saquon Barkley is currently the betting favorite on FanDuel Sportsbook at plus 350. Christian McCaffrey plus 600 is the second. Brian Robinson, the Commanders running back, who unfortunately did get shot just a couple weeks ago. I feel like it was like a month ago he got shot, and they're already looking at coming back, which is just insane. He is third favorite at plus 700. Derrick Henry at plus 1,000, and then James Robinson is tied with 4 other people. James Robinson is in a 4-way tie with 3 other guys, Michael Thomas, Juju Smith-Schuster, and like I mentioned previously, Jameis Winston, all at plus 1,600. James Robinson is currently lumped in with that group. But Derrick Henry has had a bit of a slow start to 2022 rather. Averaging 3.5 yards per carry. To this point, the Titans' offense has just seemed really sluggish to this point. Christian McCaffrey's bounced back very, very well, but he's been flirting with some injury sheets thus far. What is he going to look like after he's missed multiple games throughout the last 2 seasons? I believe he's played less than 5 games in the last 2 seasons in each season. Then you're looking at Saquon Barkley, who is deservedly so the current front runner for the award. He has almost 6 yards per carry. He has 2 touchdowns, 317 yards to this point. James Robinson is coming back very, very healthy. He looks like he is even potentially better than what he was in 2020, and yes, even in 2021 as well. Saquon Barkley is having a very good year. Derrick Henry, yes, I would love to have him back, but I would love to have him back not in the AFC South. And then you're looking at Christian McCaffrey. I'm a Christian McCaffrey fantasy owner, so I, of course, want to have him do well. But all 4 of those guys really have a good stake at being, one of the best backs in the National Football League, and then also being one of the comeback player of the year front runners. And I think it's if you put it up to me, I do think it's going to come down to Saquon Barkley, James Robinson, and potentially Brian Robinson, because we don't know what he's going to be yet. I don't want to count him out just yet. So those are my top 3. If I had to give the award today, I'm not a Jaguar fan today, I'd give it to Saquon, but right now James Robinson is absolutely making a great claim of why he should be considered one of the front runners for this award. And with no quarterback being around really to kind of contest for this, unless Jameis Winston just has an incredible next 6, 7, 8 games, I really do think it's going to come down to one of these running backs winning this award. I think ultimately it probably does going to come down to Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, if he can stay healthy, major if with him. Derrick Henry, I think he's going to fade away with the Titans' offense just struggling right now. And then James Robinson, if he has a good game up against Philadelphia, they could really start pounding that drum that James Robinson is the second betting favorite here. But let me know down in the comment section below, do you guys think James Robinson will ultimately end up winning the Comeback Player of the Year award? Let me know down there. I'd love to have that discussion with you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe and go Jaguars.
How about them Jags?
Come on, Joe! Ah! Thank you, baby! Thank you! You're making blood come from my damn mouth!
Duval! Yeah!